I know what you mean about the system though. It's a little bit yeah, understatement.
Okay then. Hi guys. Welcome to the Sister Sister Show. We are back, and it is so nice to be back. And we are recording live from. Actually, it's sunny today. It's not raining.
Yeah.
It's a bit moody. It's not cold actually.
Can you hear in yours?
Can you hear?
I can't hear through the mic. I can't hear through
No,
this.
I can't hear.
Can you not hear through there? Can you hear now? Can you hear now? Can you hear now?
No.
Can you hear? Oh, not
I can't hear you.
I can hear. It's recording.
Mic
Everyone's
check.
recording, and
I can hear you.
the voice level. I can hear you, and the voice levels are going, so it is working.
Yeah, I can see the voice. Yeah, I can't, but I can hear you though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you can hear me.
Yeah.
So, and today we have our second guest, and I am delighted to have Mr. Kadus Smith. Woo! It's so nice, and you know what? It's so nice to have some male energy. I love men. I know that sounds true because people used to think I'm a man hater. I'm not a man hater. You still call me a Rogan?
I've never known you to be a man hater ever.
I'm not a man hater at all. I know my mum used to say she hates men. It's because I was single for so long. I think she thought I was going the other way, which is not a problem. But anyway, so Kadus, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes.
Who are you?
My name is Kadus. I'm 31. Born in southeast London, but I'm a nomad because I've been everywhere. So
Yeah.
I dabble in a bit of dancing, and I do other bits and bobs.
Brilliant.
about it.
Cool. Well, welcome to the show. I've got some quick fire questions.
Oh no.
Yeah, every guest we always ask these, and it's just nice to know like quickly your personality. Okay, so pineapple or grapes?
Grapes, easy.
BMW or Mercedes?
Mercedes,
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram,
Tinder or Plenty of Fish?
neither.
In person.
You don't need that. Do
You
you?
don't need it.
Don't.
It's too hot for that. Nando's or Turtle Bay?
Oh, Nando's easy. Turtle Bay's
Yeah.
trash, man.
That is
Trash.
Festival or concert?
Concert.
Okay. Biggie or Tupac?
Ooh, Biggie.
Oh yeah, good. Netflix or Disney?
Ooh, Netflix. Netflix. Disney Plus. I'll say Netflix though.
Yeah, Disney
Yeah.
Plus is quite
VIP or dance floor?
Dance floor for sure.
America or Europe?
Europe, 100%.
Gin or wine?
Wine.
Christmas or New Year?
Christmas.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Winter sun or summer sun?
Summer sun.
North or south?
Ooh, South.
Plymouth or London?
Ooh, Plymouth.
And last but not least, plantain or plantain?
Plantain. I don't want to say plantain.
It's plantain.
It's plantain,
When
right?
we
If you're
plantain.
Caribbean, it's plantain. But yeah.
Okay, good. So everyone likes to know the quick fire questions. We should put some of those on our Insta actually and see what people say. Okay, so let's just so we like to do a quick summary of everyone's weekend. So what were you up to over the weekend?
My weekend was chilling. I was just trying to find some balance. A lot of sitting on the sofa, watching TV, reading some books.
Strange time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I think I just think for me it's just about trying to figure out the good, how to kind of be nice in that moment where it's a bit uncomfortable. So, weekend just been chilling. Saw my brother on Sunday, family time. But yeah, no, that was it. It was just relaxed. Nothing too intense.
You got to try and make the best of this situation as well, haven't you? Instead of
For sure.
taking all the negative, because if your mind goes negative, it's really easy to allow yourself to go down a different path. I think, for me personally, anyway.
Mm.
So I agree with what you're doing. As well.
What did you get up to this weekend? You wasn't with me for the whole weekend.
I was delivering for some new food service.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh god. No.
Black owned.
I still feel tired from it.
So behind the scenes, everybody, Tasha is the face for Aunt Dutchie.
Yeah. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, I've launched my own Caribbean food delivery takeaway. It's named Aunt Dutchie. Aunt Thames Duchy.
Okay.
I need to get it right. I'm not even promoting. I'm just saying. After my late nan, who died in March.
That's in peace.
Her name's Emmeline, so everyone used to call her Aunt Em. So that's where it comes from, and the Dutch pot and all that.
Of course.
So yeah, so I just figured like if Turtle Bay's so full, I need to get a piece of that Turtle Bay because and do you know what? Things are changing. Like you go past, you've got Mama Rita's kitchen, you've got Soul Vendor. We're building our community here in Plymouth.
We need some more.
And we need some more. There's room for more. And so so I'm going to try it and see what happens.
For sure.
We sold out on our first night, so I'm
That's
really
amazing.
pleased
The
and happy.
food was insane. The feedback was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
I'm getting some next week.
My dad is hardcore as well. I'll be delivering. My dad is hardcore, so like he'd be really honest, and he was very brutal, wasn't he, when he was speaking to you on the phone?
Oh,
but
God,
he couldn't speak more highly of it, could he?
Yeah.
Like he said, it was very, very good.
Yeah. So we're going to see how it goes. So if anybody wants to give me a follow, Instagram, Facebook, it's at Aunt Em's Duchy, and for the moment I'm just delivering on Saturdays. Obviously looking to expand as it grows and so on and so on. So yeah, so that's what I did. Spent most of my weekend bloody cooking, but I did spend some time watching some good TV. And do you know what I'm really pleased about? Have you been on Netflix lately? They've got Desmond's.
They got sister on there now.
Sister, they've got
Girlfriends, yeah.
Literally, they are pulling out of the bag some stuff.
Girlfriends.
Yeah, it was an American program. With...
You've never seen Girlfriends?
Oh, you'd love it. You would love it.
Yeah, you need to watch it. You need to watch it.
About?
It's about four black women. Some are single, some are in relationships, and it just talks about their friendship and their relationships. It's really, really cool.
Good.
It's got Tracy Ellis Ross on there, who's on Blackish.
Yeah.
That was like one of her first gigs.
And they break the fourth wall as well. Sometimes they speak
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the camera
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So it's really cool.
yeah.
You would really like it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, what?
So
Is it a
good.
series?
Yes.
Yeah. They've like brought it right back.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Honestly, my 8-year-old, she loves Sister. Like, and it's just like, and to me, I'm watching it and it's brilliant, but it's so dated, but she's still engaged in it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's just that representation.
It matters, yeah, for
and
sure.
She's seeing it and she is just loving it.
I remember
It's so good.
being Shiloh's age, probably, if Sister was out then, and growing up feeling normal because I was watching that, wearing the hats that they wore,
so nice.
Everything kind of, my brother had the dreads.
Yeah,
it was just it made us feel like, oh my god, there is beyond that.
Yeah, especially living in Plymouth, I can imagine that.
I need to see your brother with dreads, by the way. I need to see that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
National
When we used to
Sibling Day.
fight, that would be my go-to.
But yeah, it's just amazing, and like they love the Desmonds.
Yeah.
So what they used to do, they used to watch. They know the words of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They know it. They've watched it over and over again, over and over. Especially my eldest does. But now they're watching Sister, and they're watching Desmonds, and Mauritia's coming back as well.
Yeah.
So,
Mauritia.
Like, it is a really good time for black people, I think. Obviously, there's always controversy and whatever. But in regards to television and representation, did any of you watch Mangrove last night?
No.
So,
I'm not a massive TV watcher. I don't watch a lot of TV.
Sent it all to me.
Basically, Steve McQueen, the amazing director, he's done 5 short films, really, of experiences of black British people. This one was called Mangrove, and it was about basically a restaurant that was set up in like London in the late 60s, early 70s, but the police kept trying to take it down. So in the end, the group of people, I didn't even realise that we had Black Panthers in England.
Yeah, had his own sector,
with Marcus Doe, who's he was amazing. He was an amazing journalist anyway. And basically they represented themselves and actually won the court case because there were so many flaws in it and it was just racism. But do you know what got to me? And I said this to my boyfriend this morning. What I really liked about it was from a Trinidad perspective. Everything you see is usually Jamaican, and we forget that there are other islands in the Caribbean.
For sure.
Like we have different African countries. The Nigerian experience is totally different to the South African experience, the Ghanaian experience, the Kenyan experience. And it is the same. Yes, we're all black, but we bring different things to the pot.
Yeah.
And just to hear their Trini accent and just certain words, and they were talking about roti and things like that. And I was just like, this is, honestly, it was so good. Letitia, what's her name? And
Letitia Wright.
she's amazing.
She's dope, yeah, man.
She is so dope, and she's young as well.
Yeah,
She's gonna have a really good career.
Yeah,
She
for
was
sure.
amazing, and there's a lot of British black actors in
It's
there.
good seeing that, yeah.
which-
Like it's just even.
That's me, and it's like, you know what? There is more to life than flipping Hollywood.
Of course, man, for sure.
Well, you
for
know,
sure.
and we're so underrepresented. You know me, I like black British things. I like British cinema anyway. So even if it's not necessarily black, I like British things because we are British. We can relate to it. I don't like this thing where everything's American washed.
Like The Witches. The Witches was our thing.
The
When
Witches.
the Americans took over.
Which one? The Witches. The Witches.
You know The Witches. You know that film years ago that you used to watch?
The Witches.
The little boy and he...
Oh, is that Roald Dahl film?
Yeah.
And they made it, yeah.
Like it's,
They've
don't get me
Americanised
wrong,
it.
there are real
Yeah.
cool actors in the new one.
But yeah. So I know you don't watch TV, but it's on iPlayer, so you don't even have to engage with TV.
I'll check it out.
Check it
for
out.
sure.
It was really, really, really good. And they've got next week, so this was called Mangrove. The next one's Lovers Rock. The next one after that is Red, White and Blue. Alex Whittle, and then the last one on 13th of December is Education.
Dope.
So it's good. And just to see it's costume drama, isn't it? Because they're all dressed in like 60s and 70s. Their afros, the way they dress, and just, oh my god, it's so hard. And I went on Twitter today just to see what the feedback was, and a lot of white people, actually it was positive, saying they actually felt uncomfortable watching it. Good, you need to feel uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable when people are being racist to us, and it's because of those things. If they don't feel uncomfortable, nothing happens. They need to feel uncomfortable, not just have empathy for us. They need to see those things and understand actually the struggle of what we've actually been through.
You know, yeah, I'm past the whole empathy thing now, man. I think in general now, I think we need to look at it from a more holistic standpoint of where we're trying to go as society.
Yeah.
Because in order for us to really progress, we have to then look at those uncomfortable situations or those things that aren't quite beautiful about us. And I feel like racism is a big part of the system right now. And I feel that, you know, if you care not even just about black people, but if you just care about the progression of society, then you're going to want to have to try and engage in these conversations.
You have
Because
to.
you know, I think a lot of people, especially in the days when the Black Panther was created in the UK, we were fighting. Well, the black people were fighting systemic racism. It was deeper than just somebody called me the N-word the other day. It's there's flaws within the system.
Yeah.
Which are designed,
and which you'll see through this episode, like how they took a risk anyway, that the fact that they represented themselves, like that's taken a massive risk. So they would have had to research, and you could see even then, like the judge was so against them, so racist, and everything he was just downplaying. That one of the solicitors was very much on their side, and he knew what he was doing, and he sort of schooled them. But there were so much flaws. So I don't want to tell you too much because I really want you to watch it. But even the fact that the policeman was like, me and my 6 other officers saw that there was problems going on through the letterbox. How are you going to see that? Like, there's a flaw right there. You are blatantly lying, and it is this struggle.
Looking for it.
Exactly. Well, that's it, and that's how they got them in the end. Basically, it was little things like that, and it's just what upset me is the fact I'm watching it and it's like, these things are still happening. Like, where are we going with this? So honestly, please watch it. It's really, really, really.
I'm just trying to.
It's so
It's
good.
really, really sad.
It is sad.
It's sad that you even said that.
I think there was a similar situation with Angela Davis. I was just double checking what the case was, but she wasn't part of the Black Panther movement at the time, but she was definitely a part of the movement in terms of fighting for. I mean, she's an incredible woman. And there was a case where she represented herself in court and won. Yeah. So I think it's that was a big thing for me seeing that, because obviously when people look at black skin, they look at us as quite primitive, because that was the narrative that was especially with black men and women, to be honest with you. But so just to see that we can actually, you know, even without a lot of experience in law, we're able to then go and fight these things in court and win. It just shows the strength of the people that are actually on the front lines. But
because it's even like, you know, one says they were acting like savages. And so when I heard the say that, and obviously that's just written in the script, acting like savages, and I would imagine Steve McLean being such an amazing director, he would have researched in detail. So he probably would have, because after a certain amount of years they do release the court documents. So he would have looked through the court documents and then got the information from that and used it within the script. They all, and I say they, some white people always like to refer to black people as savages, but when they were coming and enslaving us, wasn't that savage? Separating families, separating women from their bed, isn't that savage?
The original
itself?
gaslighters.
Just you understand what I mean? And it's just like
they're stripping it right back. They're making black people live like savages by not feeding them, by raping them.
That's what I mean, and doing all those things. But
then
then they like to say that we're savages.
But that's why they're doing it.
Oh my god!
Like,
But I think what triggered me though is the fact that I heard it in that, and then I heard it earlier on in the day, and I was just like, literally, that is one word. But anyway, moving on. But honestly, both of you, it just
do you know
amazing.
when my dad watched Harriet yesterday?
She's obsessed with Harriet.
You know when
I'm going to change you my phone number to Harriet.
She's moving through the,
the Underground Railroad.
100 miles. And stuff. My dad was so shocked that there was white people in that group helping them.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
them homage people as well.
They were white slaves. People don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And the girl that got them through, who was the white, she was still classed as a Negro child, but she was presented white.
Yeah.
So like, it was just, my dad was
There's
like,
so much of
but they just
history.
let her off. My dad was like, oh my god, that was a white man. I was like, no, dad.
I mean, Harriet Tubman though, that movie was a little bit whitewashed to a certain. I know there was a bit of controversy about that because they were saying that they changed the. I haven't watched it, but they said the antagonist was black, and they were saying that it was a bit like But I do agree, there were white slaves, and there were people that were allying. It's the same, but this is the thing though. When we're talking about progression, and it goes back to the point of everyone needs to be on board. When we look at the civil rights movement, it wasn't just Martin Luther King and black Americans. There was also white Americans.
Oh yeah, loads.
You need a plethora of people, of voices from different backgrounds in order to.
You need to show that, because if you show just the black people, it makes it look like we are the ones causing the problems. They're not. If you don't show our allies who are actually from different, all different backgrounds, then how are we going to move forward? Because if you don't see any white faces joining us, then people are going to think it is just the black that have the problem. Like, we've got an issue.
Exactly.
We have got an issue.
Yeah.
Where's the camera? I've got a big issue right now.
we got a problem. Okay, so moving on, Christmas adverts. Have you seen? You don't watch TV. So
oh my god, the McDonald's.
Oh, this one, McDonald's.
I've heard about it. People are crying and stuff. You cried about a McDonald's advert. Do you understand how weird that sounds? It's like a McDonald's advert that doesn't even care about you.
How manipulative McDonald's are. Thinking,
like,
yes, we've made them cry.
We want to kill you.
Yeah.
Here, cry at this Christmas advert, man.
Innit? Do you know? Oh no.
I like McDonald's stuff.
What is it called? Yeah, you like McDonald's?
No, I like the fries.
Yeah, so the McDonald's one for me, it's about a teenager that's just in its room and not listening to you, and the mum's trying everything to get his attention, and it was just really upsetting because I was like, I've got two of them, and they are growing up, and then at the end it just shows them like.
Bring the mic closer to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
It shows them reuniting, so it was really cute.
Yeah. Do you know? This is funny now because so obviously Sainsbury's they've become woke. Let's just say, and I don't know if you've seen a lot of their campaigns lately. So their Christmas campaign is basically a black family, and somebody's speaking over saying, "Oh, I can't wait to come for you to Christmas and everything." Oh wow. You can imagine the feedback on that. Oh, so we're having Christmas in Africa.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Don't ever, for your mental health, don't ever look at the comments, man. Stay away from the comments.
Yeah, see.
Stay away from
You
it.
have to, because else you could really.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Because the amount of times I've had to stop myself from just going on rampages on those comments.
And I do. And then, do you know what? This year especially has taught me that you actually can't educate anybody that has that.
They don't want to be educated.
What makes me laugh, and it's just like the ignorance of that, and it's such a nice. because this year they've struggled with the direction and getting actors because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what they've had to do is use like a lot of animation, like with the McDonald's, and I think the John Lewis is animated as well.
Looking at that
So this
logo,
one,
it's
it's
amazing.
just basically pictures of a black family and stuff like that, and it does look like a Bisto ad, but it's still that whole coming together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing they should have put some rice and peas on there, but anyway, like we see the roast potatoes, so we're good there. But the ignorance that comes from it, and it's just like, do they not realise that this is what we've been dealing with? Like,
They don't care though. That's
they
the
don't care.
problem. Yeah.
That is that they don't care. But I'm just so happy, and whoever they've got in their media replying to the comments and things like that, they are giving it one for, and they are just going back at them.
What
Well, you
are they
don't.
saying?
Well, Sainsbury's are saying things like, you don't have to shop with us.
Yeah.
Like, you do not have to. And, you know, because they did the whole campaign with, what do you call it? Not Black Lives Matter.
I like Tesco's though. Tesco.
From Black History Month, Sainsbury's have just been on it.
I do like
Since they did their Black Square.
when I see Tesco's answering people back, I do love it because sometimes they go into one.
Yeah,
like,
they're on
really,
it as well.
Really sarcastically,
Yeah.
like
It's good.
we'll give them a real.
So, but do you know what? That is what we need to move forward. We do need that. We need that we need to move forward.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, and the Amazon one's a really good one. It's got a black ballet dancer. She can't do her event due to COVID. So the whole estate where she lives gets all the lights, obviously ordered from Amazon, and gets all the things, and then she puts on a little performance, and it's a black person. And do you know, like, so it's slowly coming around, and it might not happen in our lifetime, but for future generations, I'm here for that. If we're paving the way for future generations now, I'm happy for that. You know what I mean? So big up to all those
Big up.
you know, companies that are doing it. Okay, Lewis Hamilton, what an absolute G. You don't like Formula One, do you?
I don't know what he's.
Do you like Formula
Um,
One?
no, but I'm a fan of Lewis Hamilton
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
and I know what he's done.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
What
I
have
just
you done?
I said,
What have you done?
like it's no, I don't watch. I don't like F1.
Yeah.
I find it boring. It's
Yeah.
super boring. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it.
So boring.
I don't mind watching it, but Lewis Hamilton, and do you know what? I think he's really come to himself this year as well, and he's been protesting and what he's been wearing on his t-shirts and things like
Has he
that.
still got dreadlocks?
No,
No.
he hasn't got. Are you googling him now?
No.
Oh,
I was just thinking. So what's he done?
so basically, he's won his 7th Grand Prix,
All right.
which
It levels with Michael Schumacher's record.
is one of the
Nice.
greatest.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to remember him.
and actually, Formula One is a rich people's sport, isn't it? Really.
Well, they tried blackballing him at some point. I think when he was protesting, there was a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that was happening there. So yeah, it is.
So so he's done so well, and I just take my hat off to him, man. It's not, do you know what? It's not easy. It's really not easy. It's hard being a human, and then you're a black human. It makes things just a little bit, you know, and especially in a place where there's white faces like that sport, because I don't know of any other. Like I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it. I do watch Formula One, but I don't know. Excuse me for being stereotypical as a man. Any other black driver that has got to where Lewis?
No.
No.
Well, I just don't think a lot of drivers have gotten in general.
Yeah. Do you think it's money for training? Because it.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of time that you've got to dedicate. Like I remember. So I saw Lewis doing an interview with I forgot his name, but he was talking about his process of kind of getting to where he is, and apparently there was a lot of dedication from his dad, a lot of time and money as well. So
yeah.
you do need money.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's one of it. But then at the same time, it's like growing up. I think now it may change because now there's representation. But
Yeah.
growing up, I remember in London, I didn't care about F1 because it's like what you don't really. Who cares
Yeah.
about Michael Schumacher at the time?
Yeah.
You'd watch football. You'd
Yeah.
watch basketball.
What's accessible to you? It's easy to go
Exactly.
and pick a ball.
Exactly.
But I don't even know where the nearest track would be to even start that sort of driving
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of things is what's accessible. And like I think that was told in the last Olympics how You know, things like the swimming, not necessarily the swimming, but like anything to do with boats and things like that. They were middle class people because usually they have boats and they live yeah, and they've got that accessible to have it because. To join a boating club is really expensive, isn't it? Where some black people might not have that much. So sometimes sport is down to economics, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
You know, things like that, I would imagine. What do you think on that, Sean?
I don't know. I don't like it. In general, the whole thing doesn't really
interest you?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't interest you at all.
No.
I just think
So, like,
I'm so proud of him because
I mean,
you just don't see.
Look, it's amazing. It's an amazing achievement. If that was my child, and if that, and it is good to see someone who is
Making a
from
difference.
the black community. But in general, I'm like, there's more influential people.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Marcus Rashford.
Exactly.
I'm coming on to Marcus now anyway. So the Daily Fail yesterday or Friday.
Oh God.
So
I was talking about this yesterday.
Here's the headline. What a result. Campaigning football star Marcus Rashford has bought 5 luxury homes worth more than 2 million. Campaigning football star Marcus Rashford has bought 5 luxury homes. Striker 23 has ploughed an estimated 1.5 million into 3 houses in Cheshire. He has mortgages from the Queen's Bank for all 5 of the properties.
So they're like basically bashing him for having houses.
Well,
He can't do anything right.
You know what was dangerous about that though as well is they were trying to. It felt like they were alluding to the fact that he may be embezzling money because obviously he's doing the raising money for. So yeah, it's very dangerous what they were doing because I was chatting to my friend about this and he was like, well, you know, we can argue that maybe they were just making an observation, but we know what Daily Mail have been doing for years, especially with black footballers, with Raheem Sterling, with Mason Greenwood, what's happening with him now. So yeah, just seeing that just kind of really just epitomizes just how
they need to all be shot. They need to be honest. They need to be gone. Like,
I call it the Daily Fail. It just angered me so much, and like I try not to do it, but somebody said it's nothing to do with race. I said it has every single thing to do. If you just compare a headline of a white footballer that has invested or bought property,
Harry Maguire is a one big example that you can use for that.
Right, you can see just the negative connotation of the words and how it is written and what is written is so different. It's nothing to do with us. So I went back and I said it is everything to do with race. And you white
Another
people.
Another one is look how they put about Kate and look how they put about Meghan.
Yeah, exactly.
Kate
so we know that they do
glamorous, holding her baby bump outside of so and so. Meghan Markle is why is Meghan Markle holding her baby bump? What's going on?
Yeah.
You cannot. If you go through all the paperwork, all of the stuff that's been written about Kate and Meghan,
you'll see that
different,
for sure,
completely different.
And do you know what? This
well, she wanted to leave the royal family.
Yeah. And unconsciously, it made me dislike Kate, and it wasn't Kate's fault, but just because it was so frustrating that she was just painted as this innocent.
It's a part of the it's a part of that. You know what? Like just to kind of bring it back because I mentioned Harry Maguire before. He So if no one knows the story, he got arrested in Greece because he was in a fight.
Yeah.
And then it was like...
That's died down really quickly, that has.
He got... Harry Maguire, he's a captain of Manchester United.
Yeah, right.
And he was arrested in Greece because he got into a fight. Apparently the reasons were legit because I think it's something to do with his sister.
Really stupid. Is he black?
No, he's white. He's white. Then he tried to... apparently he tried to bribe the police. So it was just insane. But his treatment, when the media spoke about him, it's like, you know, he was looked at as a victim. And granted, I do believe that, you know, when you're in that situation, you know...
And you're of that stature...
It's stupid. It's stupid, like that, you know, you put yourself in that position. But the moment that came out, I even said, when that first came out, I said, watch how the media's going to treat this. And every article, bar one, I think, but every other article was just saying, you know, oh, well... his sister,
So,
and then and then again we can go back to Marcus Rashford, who has been doing a phenomenal job right now. And apparently the thing was he had to put a reply on Twitter saying, well, you know, I bought a house for my mum.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, why would you have to
just justify
so
it?
what?
Yeah, exactly.
So what? Like I don't understand, but that's just where we are right now. You know, that's what we're having to fight.
And then for those people to say that this has nothing to do with it has every single thing to do because they would not have spoken about a white footballer like that.
I've just gone on to see the difference. In January 2020, they put it up. Look, step too far. Meghan Markle slammed for putting her hands in her pocket. There's the Queen stood next to her, hands in her pocket. You've got not long to go. Kate pregnantly tenderly cradles her baby bump. Meghan's doing the same. Why can't Meghan keep her hands off her bum?
Yeah, no.
And then you've got another one. Kate Middleton's homemade bouquet of lily of the valley flower follows the royal code. Meghan's royal wedding. How Meghan Markle's flowers could have put Princess Charlotte's life at risk.
Yeah.
Like there's
it's
loads
continuous.
of them. There's absolutely loads of them if you go through.
It is.
And that annoys me because she couldn't do any right.
And but it's just even the language that they use. And so she's doing this to Prince Harry, so Prince Harry hasn't got a mind of his own. Do you know what I mean? She's taking.
What's happened to Prince? What's happened to Prince Andrew, by the way?
Don't get me started.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Exactly.
Yeah, how has he just dropped off the face of the earth? That's what I don't understand.
Awesome PR team.
And there was evidence as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There was still
no. He doesn't sweat.
That's what I'm. Yeah, because I think. Well, look, they're no longer part of. Meghan Markle has left the royal family.
Yeah.
We now got Prince Harry, who's talking about white privilege. It's a beautiful thing to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you know, I think for the progressives and the people that want change, will look at that and go, "That's dope."
Do you know what they need to remember? They've all got a grandchild there that's black.
The babe.
Meghan and Archie.
Yeah, that's it.
They've got a black. There is now a piece in their puzzle that they're going to have to.
And they'll have more children as well.
I hope she or he goes out and marries a black woman as well. And then just
messes the blood up.
Honestly, the way they're raised, I hope it's going to be a different home life.
And I want to see afros. I want to see it all, man.
Ginger afro.
Jeez.
Wow. Can you imagine? ginger afro.
So cute. But I haven't seen that baby or a picture of the baby.
No, because they want to keep him from the media and to right. And you know, I just think she's strong-minded and she knows what she wants. But I think that Harry wouldn't have gone along with it if he didn't love her and didn't agree.
Of course, yeah.
He's got his own mind. It
must be hard for him, you know, growing up knowing that your mum was probably killed.
I just think he wanted to leave anyway. To be honest with you, man. Like whenever you look at Harry, he's just like I don't care about this, man. Yeah, you can just tell. Yeah,
man. And he has always been
in the army, you know, royal family.
Yeah, he's done his duties, but he's always been a rebel. And if anybody was going to marry a woman of colour, black or whatever, it was always going to be Harry.
Yeah.
And the fact is, he's not in line for the throne anyway.
Yeah.
So really, does it matter? Like seriously.
I don't understand how he's not in line for the throne. That all baffles
because it always goes to the eldest.
So after William, it will be William's eldest.
Yeah.
And after William's eldest,
it will be George's eldest. That's how it goes. So it doesn't even matter.
The monarchy. Can I just say this? Right, the monarchy is a load of BS, man. Like it makes no. It's just traditions that just need to die now.
But it brings thousands to our country.
And it doesn't even help with tourism. Like no one cares.
No.
They don't have a queen in America, do they?
No.
But they do in Spain.
They do, yeah. In a lot of places in Europe, they still have monarchies. Yeah.
So even Sweden has still got a royal family. But yeah, because I wouldn't say I'm a royalist, but I'm intrigued by history. I love history, so I've been watching the Crown. So I watched 3 episodes and it only came out yesterday, but don't judge me.
That's that woman,
and
isn't it?
Just watching the Crown, and obviously it is dramatized, but like they've got onto the Diane years with Prince Charles. So watching that now and how she was treated, it just makes you think like seriously. And Camilla, they've brought it out now. So Camilla's there in the background, and if they had just changed tradition, because you can change tradition, because again that's how we progress. You don't have to stick to everything. Princess Diana probably still would have been alive today, because the whole reason why they didn't want him to marry Camilla is because she was a divorcee. But now they're married. Like, do you know what I mean? That could have been prevented. And Diana, she was very, very young.
I miss Diana. That still upsets me to this day.
Yeah, of course.
I remember my mum crying when Diana died.
Did you? How old were you?
Don't test me in that one, but yeah, I was quite young. I think it was like year 7.
Yeah, see,
year 6, year 7.
I remember being that that bitch of a teenager and going. We had an upside down house and going into my mum was in the bedroom, and I heard her wailing like someone had just died. So obviously they had. But I went in and I was like, "What the hell? Why are you crying like this?" She was like, "Oh, Princess Diana's dead," and I was just like, "You don't even know her." Do you know what I mean? At the time, it wasn't until like now being an adult and how I reacted to Chadwick Boseman.
You realise.
It broke my heart. But
Oh man, rest in peace, man.
seeing all that made me think, oh, it was hard. It was just devastating.
For me, it was the protocol, the fact that Harry was literally 12 and had to walk all those miles behind his own mum's funeral. I mean, casket, like literally, and protocol because he had to.
That whole thing is, this is what I mean, it's all BS.
Yeah.
It's BS.
He's
We're just stuck
12.
on like just outdated traditions. It makes no sense.
Putting it out there, do you think she was murdered?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a thing on last week apparently about Diana's death. I recorded it, but I haven't watched it. I need to catch up. But it looked really intriguing, like people saying about
that interview.
I don't know if it was Martin Bashir.
Yeah, like the interview she had and stuff like that. Yeah.
Because she was quite honest in it, wasn't she? About saying like
there's 3 people in our marriage.
Me.
Yeah.
They do not like me. Was it the mum?
The royal family.
The royal family in general, yeah. She's talking about how she's treated in the system.
Because she was so very normal. Even though she was from an aristocrat and had money, she was still very, very normal and had compassion. And we're just watching The Crown, it just makes you. I mean, they shoot frigging
they didn't like
deers and things like that. Like they're just so like out of this world.
They didn't like it. She was going over to the
African countries and stuff like that. Yeah.
And she was dating that guy from Qatar.
Yeah.
Who's
Oh, didn't he?
She was having an affair.
Didn't he own,
his dad owns a Harrods. Al something or other. Yeah. So.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
It's sad. It's so sad.
It is.
Because this is someone's mom. Do you know what I mean? And I think they know.
Allegedly, by the way, just in case people are watching.
Yeah.
Allegedly got killed. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anything. I haven't got the answers.
Okay, so just to move it on swiftly. So schools being open, and our PM has allegedly been in contact with somebody who has COVID, so he's isolating now.
COVID part 2.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't care about the PM.
I don't care.
I don't care about none of these guys. I'm past the stage. I'm past the stage of getting reactive over these people, man, because the whole situation doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I get that we have to look after are vulnerable. I understand that the virus is real, but just the way that they've been going on is just so nonchalant. They don't care. They've shown me that their lack of empathy for the people isn't there. So, I mean, I hope, from a human point, I hope he recovers. I hope he he gets past this. But
yeah,
I just don't care. The guy looks stressed though.
What do you think? Yeah, I'd feel stressed if I was him. I wouldn't like he's in trouble, boy. Now I'd be like, can I go on leave? I'm going off with stress.
Yeah, man.
What about the schools open? Do you think they should close? Because there's been so many cases of kids going off, and how do you think that's going to affect their education and so on? I
don't. To be honest with you, I'm only just confused because the schools are open yet everything else is closed. That's the only thing that confuses me, because I'm hearing that there's bubbles, but then during lunchtime the bubbles aren't there, and teachers are in and out of different bubbles, and it's just not. It doesn't really make. Again, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, like logically. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have the schools open and say you're going to be very strict in terms of how things are going to be inside the school, then cool. But I haven't heard that. But I don't know. I'm not professional.
What do you think, Sean? But from a parent's point of view,
I don't get why the schools are open, personally. But I do, having a child with additional needs, I do get that how difficult it's been for them to go back, because that was a long period of time that they had off. So go from a kid that doesn't like to go to school anyway to going back has been really difficult. So I get it, and I don't. So I just think that if this is a killer disease, I mean, is it just like the flu to me? Is it just like a bad flu? Are we going to get over it? Probably. So I know it's scary, but then you see in the press that it's scaremongering and that they're putting down people that have had a stroke as COVID, and you just don't know what to believe. So for me, if this is a killer disease, if they were that worried, because I bet you any money, personally as well, I'm not saying this is going to happen, on the 2nd of December, to keep the economy going, they're going to let us all out, and then they're going to blast us again in January and say we have to isolate. So something is going to And it's like they're dropping people, and people are going to start rioting, and people are going to start, and I just think,
There was a protest a couple of weeks ago in London about the second lockdown.
people are going to start, and unless you get people on the streets, making sure people aren't doing stuff, I can't see people. I mean, this lockdown feels completely different to the other one.
Oh God, yeah.
I've been living like it's been a lockdown for the past 2 years, though. So
What inside?
it's been indoors, man. I don't leave the
Keeping
house.
yourself to yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm in here. I'm inside. But yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And again, I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing different. I'm just trying to read as much as I can.
Yeah.
But try and keep an open mind. I just think though, you know, there's a case of the economy, there's a case of health, but then I don't think people are talking a lot about mental health because there's a lot of people right now. I'm hearing there's people developing mental illness issues, people that have had COVID and have kind of recovered from it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
How many people in Plymouth this year have sadly committed suicide? Is a lot. A lot of people that you got to think, take COVID out of the situation, there's people in violent relationships, there's people in abusive relationships, there's people in their own thoughts, there's people with bad mental health, there's people who have lost their loved ones, there's people who can't see family, there's people who can't see their children. The list goes on. I could keep naming loads and loads of things, and then they thought they can't go on, and boom, they've ended up taking their own lives. Like, I haven't seen my granddad this year. My granddad is like one of the most important people in my life, but we can't go into his home. It is, and to FaceTime, he doesn't understand. It is really, really, really difficult. Mental health on everybody at the minute is my biggest worry. Is my over COVID.
Yeah.
Mental health, I'm worried about in my children. Not so much the 3-year-old, because I can make everything fun. But my 2 older ones. In my partner, he he can't do what he loves. He doesn't.
But financially as well. Financially.
But, you know, my partner doesn't have friends. He doesn't have, like, he does have friends, but he doesn't really. His love,
his work
is the gym, and that's just been ripped away for like a year, nearly.
Nearly.
You know?
No, I get it.
It's not good for your mental health. I worry about everybody more than this COVID.
Yeah. Well, moving on to one of my friends, Gemma. She's just started a Facebook and Instagram page for suicide prevention. She's had the permission of the Samaritans and Plymouth City Council to spread messages on signposts all around Plymouth, etc. So basically, it's like little messages that she just ties on to places with the Samaritans number for help and saying, you've got this, you can do this, and so on. And I just think it's such. Basically, she's a call handler for the police, and she's had first-hand experience of people phoning her as opposed to phoning the Samaritans, and it's really touched her, and that's why she's started to do this. So if anybody's listening, give her page a follow. It is called Suicide. Where is it? It's called Suicide Prevention Plymouth. So they've got an Insta handle and they're on Facebook if you need any help. She always puts the Samaritans number on there, which is 116123. Obviously it's open 24/7, but she gets a lot of, and she's just a beautiful person anyway, Gemma is. It's really touched her and it's led her onto doing this.
I've read the Samaritans before in my life.
Yeah,
and
really.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's not about not have. I've got an amazing network of friends, but sometimes when you're perceived to be this particular thing, you need to realise that you need to reach out somewhere else. And I saw it as a sign of actual strength that I wasn't going into this. I needed to go somewhere. I needed to speak out of the box. You know, nobody needed to know what was going on because I needed to deal with it, and it really helped. And do you know what? For a lot of the time, at that point in my life, I didn't even speak on the phone. All I did was just cry, and they were there. I mean, that was a good 20 minutes of no words. And every time I went to speak, I'd start again. But it was just knowing that they were there.
Some people don't even get there, and she's
but
where
people are
she's
scared.
Exactly. So where she started to put the things apart, where the suicide rates have been high, particularly in Plymouth. She said, I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but she goes, I want to try. And I said, but you're doing something, and that's the main thing.
Even if it's not one person, just one.
A good friend of mine, rest in peace, took his life just over a year ago. So it's something that I've always been an advocate for in general. So I understand that in terms of like reaching out, because as a man, I've had 2 situations where I was very close to just kind of going. I never reached out to Samaritans though, but I had pockets of friends who I'd have like a brief conversation with, and I'm gonna go, okay. But they didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
But it's just those conversations you have kind of like tips you away. And
Yeah.
this is the thing about mental health, because I think people look at it as a separate thing.
Yeah.
But in general, it's a holistic thing. It's like it's a part of us. Mental health is health in general. So
Yeah. It is.
the same way that we can let ourselves kind of just be unhealthy by not maintaining whatever, it's the same way with your brain. Like you have to maintain it in some way, shape or form. You know,
Obviously,
Yeah.
I volunteer in PDAS, and I have for 8 years now.
amazing.
And we do a group with the women that have got no confidence, and we always preach to them that mental health is obviously how you work, but mental health, I feel, first and foremost, if you are not eating, drinking, and sleeping properly, your mental health is going to be plummeting.
Especially
Those three
sleeping.
things
Sleeping.
can take away. If you've got bad mental health, but you're eating, drinking, and sleeping, you're getting somewhere. You're making a step. If you let your physical mental well-being go down, that's when you need to start to think about actually something's going wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna feel it, and then we can work on
Everything
the
else.
rest.
But that's why I went into my stage when I was really down is I hit the gym, and that's where I started. That's where my fitness journey started. I hate calling it journey; it's so cliche, but that's where it started. And then I just couldn't get enough of it, especially like body combat, because it was just punching and just getting all that anger, getting all the aggression, frustration, exhaustion, getting it out. And then I went from the back of the class to facing the other way and becoming an instructor. And I see people like myself coming into class, and I always say to them, just 45 minutes, this 1 hour where you forget everything else and you think about yourself. I want participants to leave my class, whether it be online or in front, leaving just feeling great about themselves and just feeling like those good endorphins have come out
For sure.
from them.
Yeah.
That's why fitness is it's so important. And now it's not even that high intense fitness where let's do a class, go out for a walk,
Yeah.
absorb yourself in nature.
Yeah.
You know, like
Simple things. Find your own
simple
therapy.
things. Find your own therapy.
Yeah.
That used to really help me. Sundays years ago, I used to look forward to no reception, get everybody in the car, go. If I was feeling down, if I was feeling low, if I was feeling anxious, my anxiety, if I could just be somewhere and in the moment, I used to come home and feel completely different.
Yeah, because I think we're not built to be overstimulated right now.
No.
You have social media, for all its wonders, it's very detrimental if you're not using it right. And I think like when you're on there and you're just on it constantly, I find myself scrolling and I'm just like, what am I doing? So you have to be aware, you have to be conscious of it, and I think that's really good, because even with my class, when I teach dance, it's the same sort of message I say. I said that don't worry about getting it right.
Yeah.
We're not here to get things right. Nope. It's not an audition. Just connect. Find a way to connect and have fun with it. We can work everything else out as we go along. So I agree, man. I think for me, again, it's about finding your own therapy. It's about kind of finding ways, healthy coping mechanisms, and revolving yourself around that. And then, and then you can build it up step by step. Because I think the problem is as well is when people think about, I've got to get my mental health right, they feel like they've got to do 100 different things. And in reality, just one step, like you said, drinking water, sleeping right, eating, like simple steps just to kind of slowly build yourself up. Because
and even if it means just sitting down and not doing anything.
And
just watching TV.
We say as well, do something for yourself every week. And when we say do something for yourself every week, I mean eat that chocolate bar, or I mean read that magazine. Actually have a bath instead of a shower. It could be the smallest of things. People think when you say do something for yourself every week, right, what spa shall I book? Gosh, I haven't got the money, I'm going to get myself. It's not about that. It's about something that actually, do you know what, I haven't had time to do. And I'm going to give myself 10 minutes, or I'm going to do something, read that chapter of a book. It could be anything. And I don't think you see that until you get older, because now social media is like, you need these clothes, you need to go here in your life.
I need to look like
you
this.
You need to look on this picture. This year, right, I've put so much weight on, and I can feel myself uncomfortable sometimes, or I feel like, and then I think to myself, actually though, it's all about my headspace. I need to make sure my headspace is in the right frame of mind, rather than how I feel. So I'm trying to just get this year done, like sort of, let's just take it per bit instead of looking into all the in-depth things of it. 'Cause as you-
100%. I agree with that because there was a stage where my last year of when I was living in Dubai, I put on a lot of weight. I put on a lot of weight, and I've always been the type of person to work out. But prior to when I was at my best physical condition, my mental space was terrible, terrible.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just like now it's again like you said, it comes with age. You find that balance. Where I'm at the stage now where it's like, okay, cool.
Acceptance.
Yeah, it's acceptance. Yeah, yeah.
This is me.
Accepting the shame,
This is me.
all of
Yeah.
those things that we kind of kill ourselves about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think I just think
so
for me,
true.
yeah, I just think for me, you know, like now where I am right now, yes, physical health is good, but it's a different. Like before it was about aesthetics. It was before I wanted to kind of like look.
Yeah.
Whereas now I want to feel healthy.
get
Like
that.
my reasons is I want to be 70 and I can still bend down, and if
Yeah.
I've got grandkids, I still
Yeah.
want to be able to be
Yeah,
active.
yeah.
That's my goal, you know. And I
Yeah.
feel like priority for me is this. And I do agree, yeah. That's why we can sit down watching TV,
Yeah.
not feel guilty.
No,
Wear
that's
wear my dressing gown,
Yeah.
hot water bottle, stroke my cat.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what happens.
Stroke my cat.
It's not glamorous.
What's your cat called?
Toffee, yeah, that was not an innuendo. Sorry guys, it was my actual cat. My actual cat. Yeah, my cat.
Stroke your cat.
Oh, that gives a joke.
Oh, man,
no,
no.
but I so get that. I so get
Yeah,
that.
man.
Not stroking the cat, but I get everything you said.
Cats are
Really get
awesome if you haven't got one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know
15.
what though? It's really true. Like you say, like if I look back to the days of Zanzibar when I was going in there partying and doing all this, I was really tiny, but I was so unhappy. My mental health, my drinking every weekend, even though I was tiny and you know, and living on like energy drinks and you know,
Pro Plus.
physically, I was not
There.
healthy. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't healthy. Like it wasn't a healthy, balanced diet. I wasn't sat down laughing of a night time or you know. At the minute, I'm belly laughing. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, everybody has their little wobbles, but I'm a happy
Up and downs.
person.
Yeah.
And then you know, again, like you, to get fit. I want to get fit because I want to enjoy time.
Yeah.
It's not about wanting to look any particular
No,
way.
no,
I don't want to be
do
posting
that.
all this. I just want
Yeah.
to feel
This is
good.
what I've eaten for breakfast. Nothing.
That's
Okay, so question of the week.
funny.
Sean, can you post this for our question of the week?
Yes, of course.
What was the first reckon you bought?
The first record I
What
bought.
did it mean to you? Yeah.
Oh my lord. There's two, right? So the first record, like vinyl. This is
Yeah.
like it was the Jackson 5. It was a Jackson 5
Was
album.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I was obsessed with Michael Jackson back in the days. And
Obsessed, I like that word.
yeah, man, big time. But the Jackson 5. But the first CD that I got was probably Lil Bow Wow's CD.
Okay.
The one I purchased, my brother's a DJ, but so I used to steal all of his CDs anyway. But the first CD that I purchased was Lil Bow Wow's. I opened up a NatWest account, and you can get like a list of
Oh, so did I.
yeah, you can get like 3 albums,
Yeah.
and it was between
I
Will
know
Smith
this.
Y2K or Lil Bow Wow's debut
oh,
album.
Y2K. I remember the Y2K.
Oh yeah,
that's a
man.
good
But Lil, yeah,
album.
that was it. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
I honestly can't remember.
Oh,
Probably
come
would be
on.
along the lines of Spice Girls, Steps.
Damn classics.
I really liked Damage.
Oh my god,
yeah.
my brother went to school with them. He went to school with two of the guys from Damage. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I really liked
Okay.
Ahead of their time, man. That
So
first album was
What brought
amazing.
you to Plymouth?
Boys
You and your
to Men.
brother to Plymouth?
I don't know what brought my brother to Plymouth. Nah, he came. He was
Did you?
no, I followed him.
Oh, right, okay.
I followed him. Yeah, I've been coming to Plymouth
Little
since I was like
brother.
13.
Okay.
Yeah, because he came down years ago. I came down just to visit, and then I think I was 18, and I was meant to be going to Hull University because I was living in Yorkshire at the time.
Hull.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
We can
really
talk.
cold up there.
Very cold.
It's too cold.
But I met some of my best friends from Hull. But
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's another story. But I came down and I met Chris from Beat Breakers, and I was like, oh, at this time I was getting into dance, and he's like, I dance. I was like, all right, cool. And I just moved.
Yeah.
A week later, I moved. So that was my history of
Okay.
Plymouth.
So my first record I bought was but the Do the Bart Man. Do you remember the
Oh
song?
my God.
If you can do the bart, you're bad like Michael Jackson.
Oh my
Everybody,
goodness.
if you can do the bart. Okay. Well, anyway, that was my first record, and then, don't laugh. And at the time, I bought two.
I suppose
So
it could be
they were
worse.
singles, you know, little singles.
It could be worse. Could be Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Yeah, that's it's Bart Simpson's song, wasn't it? The Bartman. Yeah.
And then it was Turtle Power, Turtle Rappacy, and it was TURTLE Power.
Wow.
Teenage. Yeah. So those are I'm old, guys. I'm like nearly
Teenage
40.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm
It was a
impressed.
wrap. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
those were my first two, and my mom still has them. She kept
Oh wow.
them. Yeah,
Okay.
she's got them at home. So, and it's weird because like obviously vinyls have gone out, but they've come back.
They have, yeah.
When my mum was doing a clear out, and she went, "Oh, do you remember these?" Yeah. So I said to Shiloh, "Do you know what these are?" She went, "Calendars." Because of the shape.
Yeah.
Nah. Do you know? And took it out, and she went, "I don't know what that is. It's mad. I don't even know what it is."
I'm at that stage now when I describe, like, if I'm chatting to a young adult, like, I'll describe something from my childhood, and then I realise very quickly that I'm old.
Yeah, it's crazy. Is it? I made reference to Jade Goody out of Big Brother, and they were like, "Who?"
Oh man, rest in peace.
Yeah, but they were like, "Who?"
Yeah.
It just went over their head.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, different generation in it completely.
100%.
But yeah, so yours was, what did you say? So
It was Jackson 5 vinyl, Lil Bow Wow CD.
And yours was
I don't know. I reckon Spice Girls or something.
Okay, so that's cool. I love the question of the week because it really makes people think. So moving on. So Movember, men's health. We've talked a little bit about men's mental health. So in Movember, it's an annual event involving the growing of mustaches. You've got a nice strong mustache there.
Yeah.
It's not from Movember though. That's just.
Well, I actually shaved it. I shaved it a little bit, yeah, because I was thinking about keeping it, but I thought it was just annoying me, man, because it's getting so long.
It was long.
Yeah, and I was able to do the handlebars with it.
Handlebars, that's amazing. Yeah. And we look at things like health issues, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, men's suicide. So the Movember Foundation runs all throughout Movember, and obviously through the rest of the year. But Movember is when we first focus on it. So in regards so these are some stats that I've just dragged up. So it says so your risk of developing prostate cancer increases with age, but that doesn't mean the disease doesn't affect younger men. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer in men worldwide. Men who are black and men who have a family history, a brother or father with prostate cancer, are 2.5 times more likely to get prostate cancer. If you're 50, you need to have a conversation with your doctor about testing. If you're black, do it at 45. If you have family history, do it at 45. That is mad. And they're still looking into research as to why it affects black men more so than their white counterparts. Like, what are your feelings on that?
Well, just in general, I think we should make sure that we keep an eye on our downstairs in general. So yeah, I feel it's I mean, hearing that, but I'm hearing a lot of statistics in terms of how black men are affected more by a lot of things apart from prostate cancer. So I feel like it just comes down to us making sure that we're aware, making sure that.
Pardon?
What did Chadwick?
It was, I don't know if it's prostate cancer. Yeah, did he have colon cancer?
Colon, yeah. My uncle had that.
That scares me. I'm very much into cleansing. So I'm very much into trying to fast for half of the day, but just drinking lemon water.
Really?
Because that's one thing. When I saw that, and I thought to myself, he was young. He's like 44.
Yeah, no children.
No children, man. Like
got married at the last minute.
Yeah.
And how now it all makes sense. Like, how did no one see it? You know, the media was he told nobody.
And that's amazing for his team.
And the media,
strong circle.
Yeah, and the media ruined him. You know, look how Black Panther looks like. What was that one online?
Oh, Crack Panther, yeah. And I hate saying that because, it's just, this is the issue with social media. People go on there and feel that they can say whatever they want to say because that's going to give them a like.
Yeah.
It's people's lives we're dealing with here, Yeah.
And what, though? I remember seeing that picture thinking,
he looks really poorly.
He
doesn't look
really
right.
ill. He must have been poorly, but I didn't think anything that, because I'm the biggest Black Panther fan.
She is.
And so I remember seeing that, but I'm not joking, Gareth will tell you, I sobbed hysterically, unable to breathe, because I was just gutted. Genuine, there was no words. I was gutted that it was the way he wanted to do it, don't get me wrong, but I just was gutted that, that man that went on to, said, didn't I, he went on to the BBC and he said, no, ITV onto Lorraine, and he did a film with him called The Bloods.
Mm-hmm.
And Chadwick was running through the safari, full pelt, rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And when the take stopped,
Mm-hmm.
he said, I looked over at him and I thought, Black Panther's gone to his head.
Mm.
He is a complete, like, bit of an idiot, to be honest. He's got his wife massaging his neck. He's got a doctor rubbing his feet. He's got somebody rubbing his, like, wrists and stuff. And I'm like, why are you so precious?
Yeah.
He said, and then fast forward 7-8 months, that was his doctors. That was, he didn't tell us. He did all of his own scenes in boiling hot, sweating.
He's a
You know,
soldier, he's amazing.
and he said, and he started crying, and he said, God bless me for thinking bad.
Yeah.
Because at the time I felt like, and I was just like, it's a real eye opener to actually don't judge.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
don't judge.
Yeah. It's very easy for us to do that at times, isn't it? The ego gets involved.
Yeah. And I felt so sorry.
That hurt me. Yeah, when he passed because he's so young.
Yeah. He's
My brother is in his 41 now, 42.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like that's 2
I'm
years.
40,
Yeah,
that's
it's just like
Yeah.
it's just for me. It's just you're so young,
Yeah.
and you kept that to yourself. So I mean, amazing that he was able to go in his terms. You know, that's
To be
one
honest,
thing.
though, if he had brought that out, that he had that 21 Bridges just done, he wouldn't have got it, and he probably wouldn't have even got Black Panther. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, you know, and maybe his mindset thought, you know what, I'm going to do this.
What do you think about another actor playing Black Panther, or do you think they should just leave it?
I think they should put his sister as it. That's what I think.
In the comic books, because I'm a massive comic book fan. So with Black Panther, there was I think it was Civil War. No, just before the Civil War issues, there was a case where he had to leave Wakanda and his sister became the Black Panther.
Okay.
So there was an actual arc.
Yeah.
So they can do it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And I feel that if you're going to continue it, that would be a very good shout to probably have Letitia Wright as Black Panther. At the time, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Because I just felt to myself, obviously, the MCU is a completely different universe. Nerdy talk. But so I just thought, let's just honor him first, because those conversations came straight after his death. And I thought, let's honor him.
Yeah.
You know, unless we can talk about that. But yeah, no, it would be cool. It would be nice to see that for many different reasons. But but I just think for him, it was good that he was able to do all of those things.
Amazing.
He was like, you know what? My time could possibly be limited on this earth. So let me just do all the projects that I want to do. And just seeing how he went about his business. He had so much integrity. There was one role where it was like a slave role. He said, I don't want to be doing no roles about slaves. And I agree, man. I'm so sick and tired of seeing slave movies, man. Like, let's talk about other stuff, because black people have contributed a lot to society.
Oh my God, we have stories.
Besides being slaves.
We have
So
stories.
yeah, we need those stories told. So I appreciate what he did for the culture and what he did just as a black man, seeing him, you know, just thrive like that. And then even not hearing that under those conditions, like fighting terminal illness, and you were still able to go out and do all of those things, doing your own stunts.
That's just
And
something
you know
else.
what? That Denzel Washington funded him.
Oh man, Denzel. Yes, he did. Yeah.
That got me as well.
Yeah.
And I was just
And
like,
that's what
and
we
he was
need
so
to,
humble.
and that's what
Community,
we have
man.
to do. It's all about community. We're supporting each other. We're here for each other. There needs to be more of that. And I do think that the society, or the high heads of society, likes when we are dysfunctional and when we don't work together. We work together, we can achieve just great
Divide and
things.
conquer. Yeah,
It is divide and
yeah,
conquer, and that's what they try and do. I mean, even since the BLM movement, you see Black Pound Friday, Black Pound Saturday of every month. And, you know, I do purposely now, before I try and purchase something, I will go to a black...
Yeah, man.
I will. And I never used to before. Oh, they're too cheap, they're too expensive. But now I will purposely go before I go into Amazon or something else.
That's
if
good.
I can get it, I'll try and get it.
That's dope.
Because that's what we don't have. We don't have generational wealth. We just don't have that long distance. We're literally starting from like 60 years because we were so held back for so long. So doing that now, just helping, it just makes a difference, you know?
And he did, going back to him, but he did a lot of speaking for that sort of...
Yeah, of course.
He was such a, you know, universities and...
Well, he was from Howard, I think. He went to Howard University.
Yeah.
That's when I saw it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and just Black Panther. I mean, the whole buzz of when Black Panther came out, it's just like,
Oh my god.
you know, just
Yeah.
nobody. It's such.
I have controversial opinions of that film, but I love the
you?
message. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I'm speaking from a nerd standpoint.
Because
Yeah.
I was
certain
yeah,
things weren't.
It
As in the
just
comic book.
you know, not even the comic book. I just felt like they could have done more.
Yeah.
Right.
I felt like even
Hollywood washed.
yeah, it wasn't even. It's just like you could have gone into more detail. I felt like you were trying to pander too much,
Right. Okay.
and I feel like the you know it's good from the grand scheme of things. I like the fact that we're represented. I love the fact that a young black boy or a young black girl can look up and see, oh shoot, that's me on the screen. So that's amazing. But from a film standpoint, they could have done a bit better. They could have done a bit better. But no diss to Black Panther.
Yeah.
I
My
just
claim to
being
fame
very
is,
critical.
When I was devastated over this whole thing, one of the Black Panther cast followed me on Instagram.
Oh wow, amazing. Who?
Come on.
Who?
The one who plays.
Makes me laugh, you know.
The one who plays the brother in the beginning. So.
Oh
the
yeah.
baddie's dad.
Oh, that's he's pretty big. He's he was in This Is Us as well. What
Oh, Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling Brown or Sterling something.
No, it's not that one then. I need to show you who he is.
She was like, you followed me.
I was like,
she was proper devastated.
I was
obviously
so
devastated, but it just. But when certain people have you just feel it, don't you? It's like you know them, and it just made such an impact. Like you said, for children to see that, like for my kids, like I saw it 3 times. I went with my friends, then I went with my older daughter, then I went with Shiloh to see it.
Is he?
He was the dad. Maybe he was the dad.
Possibly, yeah. T'Chaka, yes, he was a dad. T'Chaka, that's T'Challa's dad.
Yeah.
And just to see it, and
Okay,
just to
cool,
see
yeah.
the authenticity, and just, you know what, representation matters, because I mean they're tired of, some people are tired of seeing black people on TV now. And this has only just happened during the past 3 months.
Yeah, that's
but,
right.
like, imagine seeing white people all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
But then seeing like a superhero, and then they're making references to certain things, and you get the references because you're actually black, and it was just refreshing to see. Like you know, my godson, when it was you know, the book day, and he went as Black Panther, and it's just nice to see things like that. And just really, really nice, and it's a long time coming. Like we've wanted this for ages. Like
he will be remembered.
Just like, oh god, of course he will.
Will be remembered.
Can we also give a shout out to Wesley Snipes for being Blade as well?
Yes,
because that was
forget
big.
about Blade.
Forget about
Blade.
And
Wesley
Spawn.
He was good in his day. Wesley Snipes. Where's he gone now?
White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, Wesley Snipes is a legend, man. Yeah.
Oh, what other films?
Jungle Fever.
There was Money Train. There's I love that film.
There's the one where
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Demolition Man is one of my favourite.
He's got like blonde
films.
hair.
And Eye Contact.
Yeah.
It's so good.
There's the one where he's on the plane as well and it gets hijacked.
Con Air.
Not Con Air. That's with.
But there's one that there's a train that gets hijacked and he has to go on. But I can't remember what it is.
It
That's
was
one of my
good.
favourites.
It's something to do with taxes, and then he just didn't.
I
pay
love
taxes
White Men
in it.
Can't
Yeah.
Then he disappeared.
White Men Can't Jump was good.
He's
That
even
was
in
awesome.
Waiting to Exhale. Like
he used
plays one of the love
to.
interests
I've
in
seen him
Waiting
do a
to Exhale.
speech with
Is he?
Yeah.
Denzel and maybe Samuel L. Jackson, because I'm a bit of a geek like you, Kadus. I do watch a lot of like different things to do. So like when Black Panther died, Gareth always tells me off it, but I obsess then. So then I look at everything that they did, and I like to see like things that they've done, things they've achieved, speeches they've done, people that have done speeches about them. So
It's
like
also keeping their memory alive.
I can't help it. Like it's how I am. But then it went on to Samuel L. Jackson doing a speech, or say then it was with Wesley Snipes. So then I went into Wesley Snipes, and it's just
He was good in his day, like the 80s, 90s. He was good, and then
He was a king, man.
It was
Yeah.
the taxes thing in it. I think that sort of just took him away.
Well, he went to prison.
Yeah, and so he never really recovered from that. Yeah, if you're not paying his taxes. In America, they're hot on it if you don't pay your taxes.
Yeah, man.
They're really hot.
Don't mess with the what they call the IRA.
Yeah. In England, we just clear their council tax, and then you just resign yourself in a way. Dominic Cummings. Well, we won't go into that. So again, like prostate cancer, it's such a big thing. Again, there's there's this here. It says black men are more likely to get prostate cancer than other men. We don't know why, but it might be linked to the genes. Get lost. In the UK, about 1 in 4 black men will get prostate cancer in their lifetime. If you have mixed black ethnicity, you are likely to be higher risk of prostate cancer than a white man. But we don't know the exact risk because they don't have enough information, and they're still doing research. But it makes a difference whether your mother or father is black. If you're over 45, that's when it comes. I also found this quote, and it said, "Black men's mental health is the next pandemic." 13 years ago, psychiatrist Dr. Kwame Mackenzie wrote how being black in Britain is bad for your mental health. Here's some other stats. The results were staggering when he conducted his research. For black Caribbean people, 61% said they did, followed by 63% of mixed race people and 65% of black African people. Post COVID-19, there are concerns of mental health rising. There are even more members of these black communities that are left behind. So black men and mental health.
Yeah, that's I think for me, growing up in London, you're surrounded by a lot of third generation. I think third. I'm so terrible. I don't know if I'm second or third. My mum came here.
Yeah, you're second.
I'm second generation,
Yeah.
but then my granny was also here in the NHS during the Windrush, but she went back. So you're dealing with a lot of hyper masculinity within black men. And that's then continued to be perpetuated through media. So there's always that stigma when you see someone who's black, you instantly think that they are aggressive, or there's you automatically have your backup. So the idea of someone being vulnerable is looked at as a weakness, and it's almost like you're having to then deal with, like we were speaking about with Marcus Rashford, you're dealing with the fact that there's a whole system against you, and then you're also then dealing with the issues within your own community. So yeah, it's not looked at. So growing up, I was a very sensitive child. I was always sensitive. God bless my mum. She helped. Yeah, she helped me, raise me that way. But
so beautiful.
She is, man. She is. But but growing up, there was that internal conflict of, I want to be able to speak about my feelings, but then at the same time, I also want to try and uphold this image. And again, you get with age and you realize, I've been to the lowest of the lows, man. Like I've stood on bridges, like, shall I jump or shall I not jump?
Yeah.
And I had a conversation. So I'm in a football group with a lot of my friends who are dancers, and about 60% of them are black. You do that
thing, don't you? That Zoom thing? Where
yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's funny, yeah. But this is awesome. But like, we banter a lot. But then we had a conversation the other day, and we were talking about it. And I think a friend of mine was just saying, I was very close to committing suicide, and everyone started speaking about their experiences, and I felt like crying at the time, because I thought to myself, like, I've known you guys for years,
and you've never disclosed this,
and we're black men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you think there needs to be more open forums for black men to
100%.
Yeah.
There needs, the same way we're talking about how there needs to be a community of different restaurants, there needs to be a community.
Morgan's doing quite a bit in regards to that sort of situation.
What with regards to black men and mental health?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know mental health, but I mean, I know that he's obviously been on the brink of it quite a few times.
Yeah.
It needs to be spoken about because it's something that people go through, and I'd rather you have that hour of you being uncomfortable than to hear about you taking your own life, and that is something that needs to be highlighted.
I love black men, and I need to explain this, and my partner knows, and people might think, oh, you're such a black advocate, even though you date a white person. And I've also had somebody say to me, well, you can't be the front of a black campaign because you are going out with a white man. Just going out with a white person does not make me anti-black. I'm quite aware of my history, my struggles, and whatever. Yeah, it was actually.
It's mainly that's mainly the issue, because I've had conversations. So.
Yeah. And the thing is, now I love my boyfriend very much. I love him, and he's a main ally. He can come to the cookout. He seasons his food. He rinses his plates. He does all of that. But if we, unfortunately, obviously, I think he's the one. But if we were to break up, I wouldn't date another white guy. I would, because I haven't got time to school somebody. And actually,
but what about if you
I've
met
met
somebody
him.
that didn't need
I've
it?
met him, and he's already schooled. So to risk meeting somebody and they're not schooled or woke, I couldn't deal with that. So I would probably try and date a black guy. That said, I don't want to.
There's a lot of black people who aren't woke either, and that's another conversation that we have to have.
But black guys, I feel like black men particularly carry a certain weight on their shoulder that society is constantly putting on, and I feel so much love for them and just what they deal with, and certain things I know that my white boyfriend we'll get away with. My cousin Abe's like, he's like my brother. We were born, it was his birthday last week, so we're born the same year and whatever.
Happy birthday.
We're really, really close. And there's certain things I know that he will not and never ever be able to get away with just because he's a black man. Do you understand what I mean? So the struggles that a black man goes through, like, it breaks me. It breaks me because daily, like you said, Marcus Rashford, that something as small as that literally got my back up yesterday, because I was like, this man has done good. The government have U-turned for him, like, not for him, but they basically have, right? And
But for the press.
Yeah, and they're still attacking him. Like, seriously, what does mans have to do for them not to attack him?
But
And
never
I can't
say
cope.
That's
with that.
changing.
Never say never. You never know. A lot of people, the world's changing.
can't
and
cope
Yeah,
with it.
that's
a lot of
dying, man.
White men may actually shock us.
What, hearing
This
from us?
is what I'm saying.
I've
Yeah.
dated only white men.
I can't cope with it.
This is that. But here's what I think. A lot of these old traditions are
You don't have
dying.
to.
A lot of these old traditions are dying. Like, I think this is why I don't take it to heart as much,
Yeah.
because they are dying. We're in a situation now. We looked at the BLM movements and the people that were actually out marching and protesting.
Yeah.
The
Plymouth
conversations
made me
that are being
proud
had.
as well.
Yeah, man. I think it's
Plymouth came
dying.
out.
The problem is right now we're evolving. We're going through. I think the way that I see it is we're going through a state of evolution. That's why a lot of people are feeling down right now. Everyone's energy, because there's a transformation happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people right now are seeing this transformation. They may not know fully, but they see a change happening. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of people out here crying and talking about, I'm seeing too many black people on this TV. But your opinion, you're either going to be a part of it or you're not. And when we evolve, then a lot of those things are going to die. Those old traditions are going to crumble. So I think my only, because I speak to a lot of my youngers about this, and I'm just saying to them, nourish your own community. Make sure that your friends, your group of friends, are all on the same page, because that's what's going to matter right now. And then you can expand. I don't care about going onto Facebook and trying to convince someone who's only on there because they want to just talk about how much they hate black people.
Exactly.
I don't care about you.
Yeah.
Continue on that path, but I guarantee you in a few years' time, that's going to change. Whether it's the government, because, they're going to try very hard. The Daily Fail, as you call it, they're going to try very hard to try and still push that narrative. But I can guarantee you that your kids listen to black music, your kids love black culture, your kids are going to be eating black food, your kids are dating black people. When people are now in the know, these things are going to...
Generation Z, those ones coming through, like my daughter, she's 14, Generation Z, like, she might not be able to have the confidence to phone up and make her own doctor's appointment, but she knows her rights.
Yeah.
And she knows her rights, and they value equality.
Yeah.
They are part of the gender neutral generation. Do you know, no gender generation. Yeah. They want equal rights for women. Do you know what I mean? They know their rights. They are a different generation, and I actually feel like I do agree with you that the landscape will change. We've got this massive conservative government now, but if you look at the age group that voted for them, they're going to eventually die out, and it will level out. I mean.
That's what I really believe, that we won't have to school people; they'll be schooling us. I think that it's going to completely
level out, do
a complete U-turn, because there's things that, like, even Bella taught me last time that I never even knew about. The difference in sexuality, is it? All the different types of,
pronouns.
I'm still learning massively on that. And I just think times are going to change, and that's what people are worried about. Change.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, people don't like change.
Of course they don't. No. And the problem is, like, no one wants to ever look in the mirror. Like, no one ever wants to look in the mirror, because sometimes, I say this all the time, but to really kind of develop empathy, you have to sometimes look at yourself as I may not have been right, or I may have been a bad person there, and not a lot of people like to look in the mirror. So when you look in the mirror, sometimes you're having to kind of assess yourself fully. You know, there's been times where I look at past decisions and I kind of go, you know what, I was a bad guy there.
Yeah.
And I understand why. I understand why you would feel that way.
Or you've not challenged someone and corrected them because you've not been in the right headspace. Like,
Oh yeah, that happens many times. Yeah.
That's how I look at myself now. Like, I swear it sounds really like cliche, but growing up and being older has made me see things a lot
Oh
differently.
God, of course it does.
Of course it
It
would,
comes with eyesight, comes with age.
You know, people touching my hair used to really not bother me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't until you start growing up that you think that
Actually, that's wrong. I'm not.
I was the same. People used to put pencils in my afro back in the days, and I
Mad.
You know what?
Yeah.
Mad.
Like, you know, like little things like that, or little things like, you know, how I might sound ignorant to somebody like Bella or somebody who's explaining about the sexuality and the pronouns and stuff. Actually, that could just be somebody who doesn't know how to, who is actually calling me half caste and actually not seeing no wrong in it.
yeah, and that's the ego,
That's
man.
the the difference. Like, if I get my back up to it, like, what do you mean? Like, you've got to give someone the benefit of the doubt to actually say that's not right. And if they do it again, then you got an issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not always the bad in people.
Yeah.
No, of
It's
course.
just
Yeah.
the
I just
non-educated.
And just to add to that, because I do agree. I think the reason why there's a lot of difficulties in communicating is both parties that ego is heavily involved.
Yeah.
So it's like the ego is like you should know, or the ego is like I don't want to look like I don't know. But in order for us to actually be good humans or to evolve, you have to kind of put yourself in that standpoint as I don't know.
Yeah. And just
I don't know. I know what I know until someone tells me different.
Yeah.
So you know, we have to kind of get past that point where we can have those conversations where one person can feel like, you know what, I'm going to be ignorant because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm open for you to tell me. And that person goes, well, I know that the way you're responding is rubbing me the wrong way, but I also know you're trying to learn, and I want to. Let's get past that initial stage, because a lot of people are there. Everyone goes online and thinks that they know. I'm seeing people write paragraphs about things that you
don't even know.
you don't know. You don't know. You know what you read in the book, but you don't know, and you have to open yourself
and that's
up.
why I find it really difficult when white people will say that's not racist. But how do you?
You don't know. You don't know what race. Oh, when they go, well, I know what that's like.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
Because you're talking about small isolated issues where someone may have been a dickhead to you.
Yeah.
We're talking about something deeper than that. And
That's
until
what
we
I'm
can have that
saying.
conversation about systemic racism,
Yeah.
which I still don't think people truly understand,
Don't.
then you're not really going to understand.
Yeah,
Don't.
like, you don't take anyone's opinion from them, and I get that must have hurt your feelings at the time, but there's a bigger issue. Like, I'm
sure.
all for letting people have their opinion. I actually can sit back and let them push it on me.
Yeah.
If they let me then say, well, this is what I think.
Yeah.
And then we need to draw a line under it, unless they're calling me the N-word or something's really deep, then we're not going to get on
Yeah,
that.
that's a different kind of conversation we're having after that.
Yeah.
So here's a few more stats. So compared to white people, black women are more likely to experience a common mental health illness, such as anxiety disorder or depression. Older South Asian women are an at-risk group for suicide. Black men are more likely to experience psychosis, and black people are more likely to be detained under the Mental Health Act. But more white people receive treatment for their mental health issues than people from BAME backgrounds. I hate that word. But I'm just from,
I know.
and they have better outcomes. Some of the reasons why there are different rates of mental health illnesses for people from these backgrounds are inequalities in wealth and living standards, bias, discrimination, and obviously racism, stigma about mental health, and they are less likely to have mental health issues identified in the criminal justice system. People from BAME backgrounds are more likely to be living in poverty than white people, and people living in poverty are more likely to develop and experience mental health issues.
Yes, of course it is. You're talking about ACEs. If we were to talk about it from a standpoint of psychology, man, yeah, PTSD is a big thing. PTSD, and again, we're talking about systemic racism there as well. Also, I want to say we need to protect our black women, man, because I think when we're talking about mental health within, and I've seen this firsthand. I'm the son of a single parent who was living in an area which was just known for racism.
Which part of London?
So Wealdstone, so
Wealdstone, and
northwest.
then you moved to
Hull.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
so
Hull's, yeah.
Yeah, so and I've seen her have fights with grown men, and I've seen her trying to do two jobs to kind of put food on the table.
Yeah.
That kind of stress is difficult, especially raising two black men.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I feel like, you know, it's hard for a black man, but for a black woman who's also having to hold the family down, it's tough, man. And I feel again we're looking at just as pure as day. We look at how misguided people are in general. I mean, we're looking at how, as a society, how black skin is viewed, or not even just black skin that is not white
Yeah.
is viewed, right? There's a different sort of narrative that's pushed, and yeah, of course it's going to affect. Of course,
Yeah.
it's going to affect
Because
us.
I hate that whole stereotype, and I've had people say to me, "Yeah, but you're strong.
I hate
You've
that.
got this."
Yeah, man.
No, I haven't got it. Actually, I am falling apart, and I am breaking inside. I am literally on my knees. You might see this, and I am not. I literally, like, I'm all right now. But there's been certain times where I haven't had it. I just literally haven't had it, and
Yeah.
I'm struggling. But you're there, seeing this skin,
Yeah.
thinking that, oh, she's all right. She can take
Yeah.
another nudge.
And
It's
that's-
all
yeah,
good.
and that's-
She'll
yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
That strong black woman
Yeah.
stereotype.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
and
stupid.
it's damaging.
Very,
it's
very
actually
damaging.
because they don't see us as what's the word? They don't see us as like
Feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just to add to, yeah, because it's the same thing that they're saying. It's the issue that's happening, because that's linked to slavery.
Yeah.
It's the idea that you know, a young black woman would actually date to kind of justify them raping kids. It was almost like they kind of pushed that woman to be older.
Yeah.
It was almost that idea where it's like you're looked at as this empowered, very aggressive figure. So it kind of then allows us to treat you in a different way, and that's a big issue.
Yeah, and that has an impact on, like, it's so systematic. The fact that 1 in 5 black women die in childbirth or in labour.
Yeah, man.
You know, that has that impact because I've got this pain. I'm noticing this is wrong. No, you'll be fine. They brush it off because they don't see that you can have this pain or that something is going wrong. So that's what I try and explain to people. All those things that are in this, like, I don't want to call it a bubble, but like all these ideas or these perceptions that you have of black women, it is so damaging that it's affecting birth rates. It's affecting people's lives. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling you I've got this pain. Do not tell me that I haven't got this pain or I'm not feeling this. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of, but the whole stereotype.
Denying an experience, isn't it?
It's denying an experience, and it's draining. That, you know, why can't we be seen as innocent and pure, like
That's
our
why.
white counterparts?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what I
How many
mean?
times in Plymouth I have been told that
You're aggressive.
no, they would love to go, like, you know, something really derogatory. I don't want to use the term, but like, do you look the same down there, or do you?
What?
You know, like, I've never been with someone.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Oh man, I have stories about that. Yeah.
That's
You know, like, do
crazy,
you look
isn't
the
it?
same
That's
down
wild.
there, and all that sort of thing? And I
Yeah.
just think,
Right. Is that how do you get
Can you
the?
twerk? I
Oh
always get that
god,
one.
yeah.
Can you twerk?
So how do you
Actually,
get the
shit,
what
twerking, but anyway.
goes through your heads, man? Like, it's like I don't understand where you feel that need to be able to speak to me that way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I can understand that it probably more so for a woman, what I would be like as a guy to just come up to you. It's already like a guy being aggressive anyway.
Yeah.
But then for him to then come across and say something that it's
But
not.
it's like my cousin has said to me, you know, like my boy cousin who I'm really close with, like he'll say like he's with a wife now and he's been married years. But white girls used to say to him, "If you got a big one down there."
Oh yeah,
But I would never say to a white guy, "If you got a small one down there."
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
yeah.
why would I say
It's
that?
just
That would
stupid.
not be the.
You watch too much porn.
Yeah, like
You watch
just-
too much porn.
Seriously, like, why would that come out of your head? And it's all those kind of things I like really struggle with. Like,
Yeah. Do you know what? You know,
it's wild.
one of those things for me, right, was it, like, my personal journey with that. When I was younger, I didn't care at the time, honestly, because I was like, I'm gonna get laid, so it's all right.
Yeah.
As you get older, you develop a bit more self-respect, and you look back on those situations and go, damn, that was a bit insane, like, and actually allowed that to happen. So
you
it's
could almost kick yourself, couldn't you, as well, though? Like, I mean, I know I had to experience it, but I could almost kick myself. But then I ended up going to the opposite. So I would challenge people.
Mm.
And that sometimes wasn't the best thing to do either, especially if it was in an alcohol.
Yeah.
So then I would challenge someone.
Mm.
But what was really damaging for me, obviously, I was in a violent relationship. I got no problem with sharing that. And people saying to me over and over, I can't believe you'd be the type to take it, expecting me not to have took it.
Just because you're black.
Just because I was always that I perceived myself to be that sort of person, and that really damaged me actually. That mentally really damaged me, because then I felt like I couldn't talk about it because it was kind of not what I was supposed to be in.
I feel you. Yeah. I get you on that.
So it was really like I kept it to myself. Any hospital visits were to myself. Like everything was very lonely because I wasn't supposed to be in this situation, because on the outside I was like,
strong, the strong.
I was
you got this.
Get my brother. If anyone said anything to my brother, I was that person that they knew. Me and 10 men, because I was the 10 men, was coming for them. Do you know what I mean? So it's really weird.
But I see it now with my daughter. She's 14. Any drama like at school, and like the teachers will tell me, and it time and time again, she's not the drama, but she's the one who will stick up. And she's the one who's got that. So she gets involved in it. I'm like, why? Your friends ain't doing that for you. They're pushing you first, and you're going to look the worst.
That's dope. I do like that though, man. I do like that. I do like,
she's
man.
Always there. I'm sticking up for my friends. You don't need to do that.
That's a good quality to have.
But I'm like, you're the one who's going to get singled out. And I said, as you get older, and the police are around and things like that, they're going to single you out. So please, that's nice that you're sticking up for your friends, but please, you don't have to
find
be
the balance.
Find the balance.
And
you know,
it's true, 'cause she will be.
she's
like,
just.
I used to be so angry with my dad. Like, stop. It's fine. It's not like that. But it was always me.
Yeah.
I was in like a little naughty crowd, but I wasn't. It wasn't bad. But we just hung around the streets and did things that we shouldn't. But it was always me that would be taken home. It was always me that was remembered.
Yeah.
It was always me
You
that
stand out like a
necessarily
sore
wasn't
thumb.
put in the cells,
Especially in
but I'd be in
Plymouth.
the back of the car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You
So-
stick out like a sore thumb, especially
My
in
dad
Plymouth,
would be like, what have I said? And it's not now until I look back, I think,
oh my god.
actually, I wasn't even the gobbiest there.
Yeah.
There was people
Yeah.
actually there swearing at them, but you still put me in the car and took me to my door to make my dad like lick me. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that he did. My mum was the one with the slipper.
But yeah, it's things like that. So it's just amazing how much of an impact it has.
Yeah, no, for sure. I it just kind of moving on to so quick, because I know we're time and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also in a relationship that wasn't savory.
Yeah.
And there's, just referring back to men's mental health, I think that conversation isn't had enough about men being in abusive relationships. And I feel that, there's almost that element of shame, because it's like, well, even speaking about how someone could damage you emotionally to anyone kind of feels like, oh, like I should be doing that. And there's that stage of isolation that you have, right? Because you're trying to deal with those factors.
But do you know what the advantage that the disadvantage that men have in this situation is? Women are manipulators. In a domestic violence relationship, women manipulate the situation. So with a man and a woman physically, that you get that alter ego sort of, but a woman in a situation of not being savoury is they are manipulative. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've had to really look into that, just in terms of that, because hurt people can hurt people. So it's never. That's why I feel like now it's very important, just in general, as people, that we really maintain what's going on up here. You speak to someone, we try and get rid of that shame, get rid of that stigma. When someone goes, oh, because you're seeing a therapist, that means that you're broken. And it's not like you have to deal with that trauma, because it's going to come out one way or the other.
Because we don't necessarily have a culture of therapy over here. In America, they do. Even the therapists have therapy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what we need more of? And also, do you think, so like this is just drawing it to a close, overcoming barriers, going on to therapy. Do you think we need more black therapists? Is that what we don't have?
Yes. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I feel just in general, it's why I will always talk about mental health so easily and kind of get to the nitty gritty, because I feel that's important. When someone looks at me initially, if I don't speak, there's so many things you can probably think about me as an individual. If I don't speak, if I don't say anything, if you were to just look at my...
Go going into the domestic violence, have you ever done any like courses to understand?
I haven't done courses on it, but I read a lot of books
Yeah.
on the brain.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the brain. Carl Rogers, Becoming a Person. He's someone who talks about the Sigmund Freud, who I'm a massive fan of, and the Freudian slips and whatnot. And he kind of revolutionized psychotherapy. In terms of like people-led therapy. So I'm very much about educating myself on therapy. I don't look at things specifically because I believe that is all holistic.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe that when you focus on one thing, but if you open it up a bit more, you can then see it being attached to others.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. So, you know, I always try to move with love and empathy. I never try to take things personally anymore because I understand that when someone wakes up in the morning, I'm not the first thing that goes through their heads. They're going to be thinking about going to the toilet, if they've got kids, making sure the kids are up, foods, bills,
Actually, I did
stresses.
think about you this morning. I was thinking, I hope he's still coming.
Oh yeah. And yeah, and that's what the first thing I got was I make sure I'm not late. That was the first thing. But yes, so I understand that. I understand that, you know, it's never as black and white.
Yeah.
It can be,
Yeah.
but it's never as black and white.
Some
So
grey
yeah.
areas.
But no, if you've got any links to that, then let me know.
Definitely.
Let me know.
Definitely.
Okay, so just going back on about the black therapists, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
do. We need representation. I've taken a lot of therapy in my life. A lot of them are middle-aged white people, and some of them were amazing. So I'm not dissing that, but I think it will probably get people more on site, and not even just that, but just seeing. We need people like Stormzy. We need people like Wiley. We need people, all of these people that are in the industry that have a following to talk about mental health.
Do you know what? That's why, like, I'm glad that I've got this space and this platform, because honestly, I do want to make a difference.
No,
Like,
and it helps.
literally
It
wanna
helps.
make a difference, and that's why our shows. I was trying. Obviously I'll discuss with Sean, but I say, like, this week I want to do this week this is what's important, this needs to be spoke about, so like you said, representation really matters.
It does, because because you want to be able to speak to someone and understand, for them to look at you and understand. You can speak to a therapist who may not have the same experiences as you, so they'll know what to say in the book. But if I'm speaking to someone who's black, then there's a deeper understanding of what I'm going through, because it's deeper than just
textbook.
I'm feeling angry today.
Yeah. Absolutely. Kimberly's a therapist.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Gotta connect you guys.
Oh my goodness.
She's a school therapist.
That's dope.
But she's wants to go into relationship therapy, hence her doing the thing.
That's
So
dope.
I'll connect you guys in the way.
For sure.
So,
sure.
but yeah, and like she said, when she was training, there was probably one other black person on the course. She's like, where are they? And she's actually, we're quite sympathetic people and understanding, but it just seems we just don't go in that direction. You know, it's funny enough, my daughter wants to be a child therapist.
Awesome.
And she's like, everything now, she's looking into it, and even though she's 14, I know that's the direction she's definitely going to go down.
That's amazing.
Now. So, and I think we'll need more in the future, especially the backlash of this pandemic. We're not going to necessarily we are seeing it now, but I think we're going to see more and more cases as
big time. There's definitely going to be a space for it. On Twitter, there's a lady called Oloni, and she's an advocate for just sex. Like just in terms of just how trying to break the stigma about sex, about sexuality with especially with black women.
Okay, has she got an Instagram account?
She should do, but I follow her on Twitter. I think she's super, like, just the stuff she talks about.
Yeah, can you tag me in?
Yes, I shall do. Yeah. So I'm about that, man. I love people that are out here talking about things that aren't openly spoken about, because sexuality isn't spoken about a lot in the black community, even though a lot of our stuff is hypersexualized.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know, but there's still a stigma, and I think, in terms of black men, like for black men, mental health is important. That's again why I speak about it so openly. Not just because I feel it's a buzzword. It's just like I've gone through this stuff, and I remember looking around and going, I can't see a lot of people that look like me that are going through this. So I then feel isolated because I don't feel like so maybe
it makes the problem even worse.
Yeah. And again, I had that conversation with my boys the other night, and it's like, there's people, like, a lot of people are going through this. A lot of people have had suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
You just think that, because I've had it, then not a lot of people would have gone through that. But then you realise actually no, a lot of people have gone through it.
Just not speaking about
it. And I feel like we need to. So for sure.
Okay. Sean, anything else? Just
No,
to end?
nothing else.
No, nothing else to
No.
add to that. It's not unusual. You're lost for words.
I know. Very
All right,
good.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming in. Like, please come and visit us again.
Yeah.
Like,
We've really
you've
enjoyed
Every
it.
week I'm here now.
We've
That's it.
really enjoyed
You found a new co-host.
And like, you know, it's just amazing. And you've enlightened me, you've taught me. And it's just nice to be around you. It's good vibes, it's good energy. And
Always,
that's what
man.
we need. And I'll feed and bounce off good energy, don't we, Sean? Like when we had Bella in.
It's
So
good.
thank you so much. And we'll put your details on our Instagram page if people want to follow you so they can
Kadus
keep up
Smith
with
Dance.
Kadus. Yeah.
Follow my blog.
And
Nice.
and just get involved and just thank you
Dancing's
very
awesome
much.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Thank
that
you.
did do a bit of dancing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.